Howdy, y'all. How you going? We're looking at how the Ute, that's right, the famous Aussie Ute that we all know and love, how the Ute became the most popular car in Australia. This sounds like I should have done this a long time ago. I don't think I've ever covered a video just straight up explaining this, so it should be interesting to see how it does and what they have to say. This was suggested quite a while ago on Discord from David J. So thank you for that. And of course, this is from a channel called The Car Documentary. It will be linked down below so you can check them out. Here we go. Something the U.S. and crazy car enthusiasts like myself have really missed out on, for the most part. The Ute. Here we go.
The first one being, what the hell is it? And the second one invoking a deep sense of pride into one of Australia's automotive icons. I'm the Car Doc, and today I'm going to tell you the history of the Ute.
Hell yeah. And to answer that funny question, what the hell is it, right? Is it a car? Is it a truck? I've learned it's not a car, it's not a truck, it's a Ute. That's how you answer that. It's a Ute.
Early 1900s, car inventors across the globe were a life of ingenuity and innovation. Not a day would pass where a new car, a new engine or new gadget would come out to improve the lives of the wealthy, and usually the wealthy because cars were not available to everyone at this time. Ford at the time was well established in America and in 1925 opened an offshoot in Victoria, founding Ford Australia. The first Model T was in fact produced from a makeshift production line within a converted wool storage warehouse. In 1932, a letter was received from an unnamed wife of a farmer requesting a vehicle to go to church on Sundays in and which can carry our pigs to market on Mondays.
How crazy that something so iconic and that lasted decades and just made an imprint on the identity of a certain country's car culture was just started and essentially born from a letter from a civilian, a farmer's wife, to a big company, even at the time. It's just pretty mind-blowing, right? And you wonder if that kind of thing can still happen today. I don't know. Has corporate power and corporate disconnect from people just gotten too big, right? Too far away? Or do people still play a part in the vehicles that are made today? I would love to hear your take on that.
So not much then. In response, Lou Bant, a Ford designer, took the Ford Model A chassis and placed a large tray at the back and coined the name Coupe Utility.
How
Australians
cool.
always trying to save time by creating nicknames, consequently birthed a whole new class of car, the Ute. When Henry Ford was initially shown the new Model A, he reportedly and affectionately described it as a kangaroo chaser, but we know today that that car was an overnight success, which spawned a whole heap of new models like the 1941 Ford, the Ford Anglia, and the Ford Falcon, alongside many more that they still make today.
How freaking cool.
So far so good then, but the Australians weren't about to let the Americans have all the fun. Enter stage left, Holden. Holden was founded by a British migrant in 1856, where him and his German partner created parts for motorcycles.
Long time
During
ago.
World War I, Australia was cut off from the rest of the world due to trade restrictions, and the company started manufacturing the whole vehicle shells. Some of the biggest car manufacturers on the planet. After a brief stint helping to produce guns during World War II, Holden was specifically funded by the Australian government to create Australia's own car.
Hell yeah.
The original, less expensive 4-cylinder mid-sized sedan just didn't cut it in the rugged Australian terrain, so the V8 Ute was born, and they quickly became the workhorse in rural areas.
Hell
Even
yeah.
though Holden Utes were quite clearly successful, it wouldn't be an Australian company if they stopped there.
Look at that.
Holden knew they were onto a good thing.
Yeah.
A performance vehicle division was created. Holden Special Vehicles, also known as HSV for short, was founded in 1987, and they took the cult classic V8 Utes and they turned the wick up to 11, providing much more powerful V8 engines and big pumped up body kits.
That's what's so ridiculous. I mean, look at that. It's just so bonkers to me. It's so wild. And I know I've said this before. You just did not see this. The fact that you have, let's get real, it's a muscle car, right? We're talking about iconic Holdens. They made really awesome V8 cars at the time. Holden Monaro, Holden Commodore, just to name a couple. And you can take this car platform and stick a tray on it, right? It's just wild. Now, of course, what's really interesting is that some of these had detached trays where you could actually swap out like flatbeds and stuff, I believe, right? And then in this instance, like this one, I don't see a seam, so this is all one body, and it just happens to have a a hole in it that makes for a bed or a tray. So either way, it's very cool because it's just so unique looking, and nowhere else really got to mess around with this. And here in the United States, of course, we love our V8s and muscle cars as well. So it would just be so cool to tool around in this on the street and get people's reactions. I mean, it's just a cool freaking car, and it'd be hella fun too.
The most famous and popular HSV is called the Marloo, sharing its name with many Aboriginal dialects for thunder.
So cool.
This car is notably famous for breaking the record for the fastest production performance pickup, hitting a top speed of 168 miles an hour. And when you consider that this car is just short of 2 tons, there's nothing less than impressive. Sadly, Holden shut up shop last year.
That thing is an instant classic. It's a legend. That Maloo is just legendary.
And no new Holdens are being made in Australia, but it's safe to say that they've made their mark in cementing the Ute as an automotive icon. The Australian public realised that the V8 would not only be good at lugging your family to church and pigs to the market, but it would in the right hands be quick. Thus birthing the V8 Super Ute Racing League. The V8 Super Utes were an instant hit due to the fact that they were quite aggressive on track and ran a reverse grid, where during qualifying the slowest driver actually starts at the front and the fastest starts at the back, meaning it's a bit of a mishmash of madness. The drivers were all given nicknames in the Australian way, which created a family-friendly and relatable racing series enjoyed across the country until 2017. The loud screams of the V8s were retired, but the series lives on with straight 6 turbo diesels that can pump out a whopping 340 brake horsepower.
Wow.
Although I can't help but feel that something was lost in losing these V8 Super Utes. As time goes on, there is an increased push towards becoming more environmentally friendly, and the space for big gas-guzzling Utes is rapidly diminishing. So what does the future hold for the Ute? Well, the only thing I can see on the current market that is a potential replacement and a future kind of cool option is the Tesla Cybertruck. Now, this is definitely a car that you would love to hate. Now, Elon Musk has promised a Ute version.
Where's the Cybertruck? That thing just was this big reveal, and then it just went absent.
Ridiculously cuboidal looking futuristic electric beast.
By the way, if you don't already know, and hey, everyone has their opinion. If you love this truck, good for you. Like I don't hate anyone that likes this truck at all. I just personally, for me, I can't stand it. I think it's ridiculous.
Importantly, it will still have impressive pig carrying ability for the general public, but will also have the ability to do 0 to 60 in less than 3 seconds. And considering how heavy that car is, that's a terrifying prospect.
By the way, I should specify, I don't hate it because it's electric. I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, we're not going to change. I hate the future. Like, no. I just hate it because it looks ridiculous. I mean, you've seen the memes, I'm sure. Like, it looks like something like a bad mod for a game or something. It is not realistic looking. I noticed we're towards the end of the video here. I would have actually liked to. I mean, I know a decent amount about the Holden Utes, and I always like seeing them, so that's a great thing. But I noticed he didn't talk too much about the Ford offerings, other than just mentioning that they practically got to it first. They invented it first. So I might have to do that in another video. I used to do awesome videos where I used to, focus on a car or a group maybe of cars and learn about them in a video just kind of myself, like searching the internet kind of with you guys. So I might bring that back. That was a fun series I used to do long ago in like 2021. I might have to do that again because I would like to learn more about some of the Ford Utes. I think they look really intriguing. I noticed they weren't really covered a lot here, the newer ones.
Ford have got an electric F-150 Raptor on the way, which will be very capable and is likely to dominate the Ute market. But personally, I can't help but feel the true spirit of the Ute.
And what I'm referring to is these, like the 70s, 80s, 90s Falcon, car-based Utes. That's what I'm talking about.
V8 cars. Luckily, there is a thriving used car market, and living in Australia, you see these V8 Utes razzing around every day. So with its strong and steady fan base, I think this car will stay well and truly alive for many years to come. Thanks for watching.
Well, that was a good kind of quick breakdown. But yeah, it started with that letter. How wild is that? And it just kind of caught on. So It was just this almost like it was ingrained right from the beginning into Australia. And the fact that they kind of had a hold on that where it didn't really catch on anywhere else is just so fascinating to me. But I like it. I mean, for Australia, it played out very well. I mean, that's what they're known for. I think car guys across the world genuinely do like the sporty utes like the Maloo and some FPV's offerings, I'm sure. I know I appreciate them. I think they're super cool. And I can't wait to be walking around in Australia one day and just see them kind of all over in traffic. I think that's really cool. But that being said, I would love to hear your guys' thoughts down below. And of course, let me know maybe how many utes you have owned, if you have owned any, and what your favorite one was, of course. All I can say is, especially for these, any of the rare, maybe special models or the iconic utes like the Maloo and some of the faster ones or well-preserved, work ones or off-roady ones, whatever. I know there's a lot of different styles. I know this goes without saying, but take care of them because it's a tragedy that these are not really just made like this anymore. And just take care of them because tons of people still would love to appreciate these and see these, over the next few decades, I'm sure. And they're awesome vehicles. I think they'll be forever ingrained as a reminder of some really cool eras in a really cool car culture and car market, which is, of course, Australia. Throw a like on there if you enjoyed this. Subscribe to be part of this amazing community. My name is Ian. You watch an IWrocker, and until next time, y'all, I'll catch you later.